From what I've seen online, selling on Etsy seems like it's the ultimate lazy side hustle. You don't need any design skills, you don't need any marketing skills, you don't need any money to start, and you can make tens of thousands of dollars a month selling really basic design ideas like this. So I'm gonna spend the next 2 weeks building out an Etsy store, finding good trending products to sell, and see how much we can make. Now, the difference between Etsy and something like dropshipping is that it does take a little bit longer to start seeing some success. You can't just build out a store in 30 minutes and then blast thousands of dollars into TikTok ads and start making profit. You do have to spend some time testing out different product ideas and posting a bunch of listings until you find one that sticks. But what in my opinion makes this more appealing than some of these other online businesses is that once you find a good product, you can have consistent recurring income coming in every single month without spending any money on marketing and really doing no work beyond just posting the listing.
Cozy economy.
So to speed up this process of starting with a blank Etsy store and having no idea what products to sell, I'm going to be using AI to not only help me find good product ideas to sell, but to design them for me as well. Now, before I just start putting up some random listings and hoping that people buy them, I want to try finding products that are in demand and actually have a high probability of being bought. So here's how I'm finding products without doing any guesswork about if they're going to work or not. So step one, I'm going to head over to ChatGPT and I'm going to ask for a list of niches and interests that I can create products for on Etsy. Now I'm going to take these ideas and start searching around on Etsy for listings that have been created in the past 6 months and are already doing a couple $1,000s a month in revenue. Now the free way of doing this is going through every single listing and looking at their earliest reviews. This will give you a good idea of when the store started and then take a look at what sales they've done since then. And that'll give you a good idea as to how that store is performing. Now this method definitely works, but it does take a long time going through every single listing. So to speed this process up, I'm going to use a paid service. I'm using Everbee and Sales Samurai, and this will just give you all of these stats straight from the jump, all on one page. And here, by spending a few minutes looking around, I found this tote bag for teachers. This listing is only 3 months old. The shop is only 8 months old, and they're already doing $3,000 a month in revenue just off this one product. Another product I found that has a lot of potential is this iPhone case. This listing has been up for 5 months, and they're already doing $10,000 a month. So to me, this is a good sign, and I think that these are a couple products that are worth recreating so I can sell on my own store. Now, I have absolutely zero design skills, and trying to recreate these designs from scratch is going to take a ridiculous amount of time. So I'm going to be using MidJourney and Adobe Firefly to help me recreate these designs in only a few minutes. Now, in case you've been living under a rock for the past couple months, these are text-to-image softwares that use AI to create insanely realistic images based on whatever you prompt them. So if I want to recreate the rainbow design from that tote bag, I'm going to prompt Firefly with something like hand-drawn and colored rainbow. And then I can mess around with some of the tools that are part of Adobe Firefly to change the styling, the texture, completely change up the photo until I find something I'm happy with. And here's given me a couple different design options that I can start testing out. Now I'm going to take these designs over to Canva where I can create transparent images to create mockups with. Now if I want to recreate that phone case design, I'm going to give MidJourney the prop of a terrace field with mountains in the background and an anime art style. And as you can see, it's already given us a bunch of beautiful images. And from here, we're going to head over to Printify, which is going to be really important once we start actually making sales on Etsy. But for now, I want to get a feeling for what this design is actually going to look like on a phone case. And here I'm going to upload that design that I made on MidJourney in literally 30 seconds onto this phone case and reposition it until I find something that I like and that I'll be happy with selling on my actual Etsy store. Now I can take a look at some mock-up images to get a good feeling for what my actual product is going to look like in the customer's hands. And that is basically the entire design process. So now that we have a couple products that have potential, it's time to start creating some listings for them. This is where 99% of Etsy stores fail, and if you have a good product and aren't making any sales, it's probably because you're doing something wrong in these 3 things. Number 1 would be having good lead images. If you scroll around on Etsy long enough, you'll find that most big sellers are using a lot of the same mock-up photos, and if you see something over and over again, it probably means that it's working. So there's no point in testing out different images if you know that these are already working. Now I found this mock-up pretty easily by just searching Gildan 3000 shirt mock-up. It only costs $2, and I'm going to be using this over and over again for a whole bunch of my products. Number 2 would be price. So at first glance, from scrolling through shirts on Etsy, it looks like everyone is selling these shirts for way less than you can source them for on Printify. But really what they're doing is using a hook price. This is where they make one product way cheaper than everything else, which is the price that shows up on the Etsy feed. On top of that, what a lot of Etsy sellers do is they have constant sales on their products. 40% off, 50% off. Now, is it actually on sale? No, they're just making the original product more expensive, and then they're reactivating a sale every single day to make people who are looking at that listing think that they're missing out on a really good deal, and psychologically kind of tricking tricking them into buying that product. Now for my products, I'm looking for a 30% profit margin. This is going to leave me some room for Etsy fees and also room to spend money on ads in the future if I want to. And the third thing that could be leaving money on the table for an Etsy seller is good SEO. This is also something that you can do for free by just seeing what similar listings are using in their titles and descriptions. But I'm going to be using Everbee and Sales Samurai to get more stats about which keywords are the most likely to perform well. Now I'm not going to show you what products I'm actually running because I don't want a bunch of competition and people from this video going to my store and ruining my conversion rate. But I am going to leave a link in the description with a free folder with a bunch of good product ideas and other assets that will make starting on Etsy a little bit easier for you if you're interested. But that's the criteria that I'm going to be following for each one of my products, and I'm going to repeat this for 15 to 20 products, and we're going to see how well this store does in 2 weeks from now. All right, so flash forward 2 weeks. Let's take a look at our Etsy dashboard. And as you can see, we've made $237 from 12 orders. Now, out of these 12 orders, 9 of them came from a product that was a mug, and the other 3 came from a sweatshirt. And that was out of about 30 listings that I put up on my store. Now, to fulfill all these orders, I used Printify, which is a print-on-demand service that you can go to. Once I sell a product, I upload my design of a mug, shirt, phone case, whatever it is, and I put in the customer's information, and then you're done. So on my end, there was zero work after putting up the initial listing. Printify takes care of the production, the shipping, handling, everything. Now for the product cost from Printify, I paid about $10 to source each mug, and I sold them for around $15 to $20 each. For the sweatshirts, I paid about $22 from Printify, and I sold them for about $30 to $35. Printify has the best rates you can get out there if you're looking to start a print-on-demand business. So if you guys want to check them out, check out the link in the description. So obviously the $237 is revenue, not profit. So let's take a look at all of our expenses. We spent about $12 on mock-up images for our listings. We spent around $50 in subscriptions for the AI services as well as the product research tools. We spent $53 on Etsy fees, and we spent $158.52 on product cost.
Never gonna financially recover from this.
So yeah, we're actually down money from starting this Etsy store. Now I'm going to tell you exactly what happened and why I actually don't think this is bad. I actually think it's good for the store that we're down. So first of all, the reason that I lost money basically comes down to I was charging way too little for my products. In the first few days, I wasn't really getting any visitors, let alone sales on my store. So I started putting on some very big discounts on my products. I started with 40% sales on the whole store, which after a few days is how I made my first sale. Now, even though this is a huge discount, I still would have been profitable selling these products for 40% off if all of them sold in the States. I started getting a lot of orders coming in from Europe and Australia, which skyrocketed the shipping cost and added a VAT tax to some of my products. So because of that, I would make profit on some orders and then lose money on other ones. Now, I actually don't care that I've lost money so far because selling my products for so cheap is what has allowed me to grow my store so quick. And now I have 12 sales and I'm really close to becoming a star seller, which will make Etsy push my products more and make my store look more trusting to customers. So the next steps here are to raise my prices a little bit so I'm not losing money on every order, create variations of the products that are already working, and start creating more listings. And let's see how big we can scale this thing. So subscribe if you want to see an update video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.